What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and it depends how you view things. I never view people losing their jobs as a good thing. I had always hoped that the market would correct in terms of woke video game journalism, but 2019 appears to be the year where the gaming community can't stop winning. Now, last night I got into a public spat with an IGN reporter that I'm going to be talking about at 4 o'clock today that you're not going to want to miss, as well as later tonight I've got a wholesome video, and you want to stick around because the Quartering / Exclusively Games is giving out 3 brand new gaming consoles, 10 brand new video games, and 10 brand new and 10 $30 gift cards to the community to say thank you. So you're going to want to stick around for that, and I'll show you how to enter. We've only got 2 days left, I think, on that. So news of Variety shutting down their gaming section after E3 dropped a couple of days ago, and I wanted to cover it, but I decided that I wanted to kind of cover it as a bigger story. The story of getting woke and going broke, and why so many websites were utterly obsessed with being combative and receiving hate clicks, because quite honestly, for a long time, that's what would spread. And I do think there's a combination of things that led to this being unprofitable for them that we're going to go into. But I just want to give you a 30,000 foot view of what's happened in just the past few months. So we have Variety shutting down their gaming section after E3. Variety is the home of probably the most mocked video game review, other than 7.8 out of 10 Too Much Water, in their video game review of The Division 2, calling it, and I quote, as bland and senseless as a Tucker Carlson rant. Going on to say, but then comes the wave that Tucker Carlson's hyper-conservative news show treats white men as victims. I mean, this is, again, a review of The Division 2. Again, the reasoning lies in inherent power fantasy. Tucker Carlson empowers those sitting on the couch with Bud Light yelling at brown people. Tom Clancy lured tech-minded absolutists who see military strength above all. Again, this is not a video game review. For a long time, people would share this type of article. There, you had the double dip. You had people that agreed with this type of insanity, activism masquerading as journalism. But then you also had the gaming community would continue to share this kind of stuff. In fact, I had been guilty of it in the past. If you've noticed on my Twitter, I ultra rarely share articles from these outlets anymore. And if I do list an article in my descriptions, it's always an archive link. These websites aren't getting the traffic that they used to, and we're going to show some actual real numbers that support some significant losses. This is on top of Waypoint being closed just 2 weeks ago. Waypoint, Broadly, and Tonic closed by Vice. Now, Waypoint was the activist journalism website of Vice, ran by guys like Patrick Klepek, who has said, I am the corrupt SJW destroyer of gamers. This is a guy that, was a senior reporter at Waypoint and was clearly an ideologue, clearly an activist who was just using video games to push a narrative. Now, the community started to, and I owe at least some of this channel's viewership to, getting aware of this, being aware of this. We started to get sick of it. It started to become more profitable to make fun of these articles than it was for them to exist. You go back just a little further, and we had Gizmodo, which owns Kotaku, selling at a gigantic financial loss. Billions. They lost billions. According to The Wrap, after Geo Media purchased Gizmodo brand of websites, which included Kotaku, Gizmodo, The Onion, Jezebel, to name a few, they started a swift round of layoffs. So far, that's being reported that 25 people have been cut from the 400 people staff. Again, now you might say that Kotaku is doing fine and everything else is doing poorly, but again, I think the same things apply. You can see, I actually see, to be honest with you, fewer woke articles coming out of Kotaku. It's like 1 or 2 a week, where I believe they absolutely used to be far more frequent as more people get sick of hate baiting. People don't fall for it anymore. More people are running ad blocks, so even the people that are coming there aren't getting, they're not getting any ad revenue, and so on and so forth. We see again Brian, who, again, he's a father and husband, so I hope he does find work. But again, these websites exist to pen outrage. Then we see today, Salon Media in talks for $5 million fire sale in last-ditch effort. Salon Media Group, one-time digital darling, has fallen on hard times. It lost its CEO in the past 3 years. Last week, it appears to be on the brink of a deal to sell itself for the price of $5 million. The filing contained no further info on the mystery buyer or buyers, but said the deal would only require a $550,000 payment at closing. It said $100,000 would go to escrow account and $500,000 was already paid as a deposit. The remaining $3.85 million would be a promissory note payable in 2 installments over 2 years. This is a website that used to be worth tens of millions. The left-leaning website launched in San Francisco in 1995, staffed largely by refugees from a newspaper strike at San Francisco Examiner, went public in June in 1999, valued at $107 million. It has lost money ever since. This is a website that writes articles like this: how the U.S. became a troll nation from GG to the rise of Trump, and much more. These are articles written by people who are looking to bait the gaming community because it's such a big pool, and also to pander to people who agree with this type of stuff. So for the longest time, these media outlets were able to double dip, and we're going to continue to talk about. I'm giving you these are just examples in the last year. The last few months, including the Salon one coming from today. If we look at the original Univision deal that I reported on a few months ago, I think this is back in April. If we look at the amount of money that they lost, the financial terms of the deal were not disclosed. Though the unit has been struggling financially, Univision reported a loss of $32.5 million from its websites in just the fourth quarter. That is an increase from $3 million. They lost 10 times as much in just 1 year. Think about that. Why would you even buy these websites? You're not going to go from losing, but you go from losing $3 million, which is already unsustainable, to losing $32 million. That's 11 times the loss in just 1 year. The market is absolutely changing. Now, I think that these behemoths are like giant boats in a small docking area, or small, they move slowly. It takes them a long time, which is why so many YouTube outlets have popped up. Now, these people are trying to come to YouTube, but it's way too late. They've already tarnished their reputation, which we're going to talk about in my 4 o'clock video, go into depth about what axe I really have to grind with the games journalists of today, and why this air of superiority that they all seem to have once they get that blue check mark just rubs everybody the wrong way. Apparently, I need to explain it in chapter and verse to these journalists why they suck. And I'm not going to go into that now because I've got a lot of things to share, but you have all these websites are dropping like flies. Variety shutting down gaming section on June 13th after E3. Variety has plans of axing its gaming section consisting of Brian Crescent, I don't know, and its freelancers such as Michael Flutter. Once E3 wraps up, the news was kept under wraps until editor over Variety's gaming section. Brian outed the news via Twitter. As pointed out by Bleeding Cool, he joined Variety's gaming channel last year in 2018 after Rolling Stone's Glixel closed up shop. That is another kind of far lefty gaming sort of website. So a lot of these outlets, a lot of these politically charged websites thought, wow, there's a lot of traffic in gaming, so we're going to just open a gaming section. But the problem is the gaming community can smell a fraud from a mile away. So it only ever really appealed to their existing audience. Many of these places weren't exactly lighting up the scoreboard once they started writing gaming articles, because they would write stuff like this, and the article goes on to say, this is on One Angry Gamer, this has become an increasing trend in recent times, with Vice folding its Waypoint portal recently. Among other verticals, G&O Media also laid off staff after recently purchasing Kotaku. Gizmodo branch would include Kotaku. There seems to be a trend lately where a lot of game websites are shutting down or trimming down, and it looks like all of that anti-consumer sentiment these outlets propagated back in 2004 is coming back to bite them in the wallet. Now, I think that is part of it. I do think that there is a general shift. I mean, it's interesting to say, ha 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 ha, get woke, go broke, which is, I mean, ha ha, get woke, go broke. But I mean, there is a general change around the way people want to consume media. And I think when you have to put your face on camera and you have to open a conversation in your comment section down, in the YouTube comment sections, these people are getting blown out of YouTube. I mean, if you look at any of these authors who write this dreck, if they were to put this in a YouTube video and like legitimately deliver it as their version of truth, you know exactly what would happen. It would get ratioed beyond oblivion. These outlets should have seen what happened. If we want to go back to about 2 years ago, there was a big section of YouTube called the skeptic community, and then the anti-SJW community. And in the last 2 years, that community has shriveled up for the most part, partly because they won. All of the smaller channels that used to produce a lot of the politically motivated content, especially ones that would capitalize on the gaming community, got blown out. They're all gone. None of these people are making YouTube videos anymore. Some of them got MTV money to go be on MTV, but that's fine. Go ahead. I mean, get paid now, because that's not going to last forever. I mean, YouTube and independent creators is the future, and these places should have seen it long ago. The one last bastion a lot of these outlets have is Twitter, but more and more people leave Twitter now because they know of the censorious nature of it and the bias that it has, and it's just not worth having that type of conversation when it's going to get you banned all the time. A lot of these conversations used to happen on YouTube, but they got blown out by the response videos. And when you publish your articles in your little hug box on maybe Variety or Waypoint, you don't have to worry about backlash, because one, people that disagree with you aren't really going to seek out your content, okay? And if you had put it on YouTube, you know what would have happened. So you put it on your hug box, but what happens is traffic drops, you ad revenue drops, and ultimately the media, the market demand has shifted to video. So it's more than just getting woke, but it's definitely a big part of it, because they never bothered to ingratiate themselves with the gaming community. They instead chose to capitalize off clickbait and deriding it. So this gigantic, super huge, mega behemoth of a community isn't going to be there to support you now that you're free falling and you have to fire sale everything. I mean, this is going to get worse for these outlets. Many of them will hopefully, they're holding on and hoping so they can cash in on the presidential election. I don't know, but gamers are over it. I mean, we point and laugh at your articles. You're not respected as journalists. And, there are other websites out there like exclusivelygames.com, which will never make money. Okay. That's where I say, that's what I'm talking about this. I don't ever expect exclusivelygames.com to make money. What I want to do is continue to grow the support, for the site, to keep it running, to give gamers a safe haven. It has a forum, it has Discord, for however people want to communicate off of YouTube, this website has it, and no political baloney. And people are really liking the website, and it's growing in traffic every single week. And so now, Exclusively Games, and I'll leave a link to this video in the description below, is giving away 3 brand new consoles, 10 brand new video games, and 10 $30 Amazon gift cards. The contest is linked on the Exclusively Games YouTube channel, and there's a contest link right here to enter. It's totally free to enter. It's just a way to both spread awareness about what we're trying to do at Exclusively Games and to give back a little bit. Like, I'm always going to funnel money from the quartering channel to keep Exclusively Games running, because it's important that I give back to the community as well, one that's been very supportive of me. And so I'm going to continue to improve this site. We're working on a mobile app right now. It's becoming something really special. And with each week, we're rolling out more and more updates, fixing more and more bugs, inviting more and more writers. People are emailing writers at exclusivelygames.com. The forum's doing really well. The Discord has many thousand members. So it's a safe haven. It's exactly as it is right now. It's almost exactly what I set out to do. And that is to provide the gaming community a place to go read about gaming, read about, video games, board games, whatever type of gaming they're into, console news, read about today's news without getting without getting political, without getting told they're a bad person. There's an Exclusively Games YouTube channel that does the exact same thing, where we review video games. We also do video game reviews every Wednesday. So this is my thank you to the community. This isn't about making money. It will never make money, because every cent, if I ever break even, I will just invest more time and money for more articles and videos. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I hope it was interesting to you, and I look forward to all the comments in the comment section down below. We'll see you later today with the second video.